Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! Hey, so I'm not usually one to share stories like this, but my friend thought it was important. Well, here it goes. Just a heads up, this story might be tough for some to read due to some heavy stuff. I'll keep the time details kinda fuzzy for privacy reasons. The star of this show is my mom, the queen of entitlement. It was back in the early 2000s around January. Me? I'm just sitting tapping away on my phone. Back then I was just a 13-year-old, but life was a little crazy. I had to hustle because mom's idea of punishment was cutting off power and leaving us without food. Yeah, fun times. So, at 13 I dove into work trying to keep the lights on and something in the fridge. I even bought myself a car at 16. It wasn't a luxury choice, it was so I didn't have to trek 2 miles to school, then 4 miles to work, and finally trudge 5.5 miles back home every single day. My then boyfriend's dad sold it to me, but it stayed in his name to keep it safe from my mom's clutches. I had to outsmart her somehow, and when I hit 18 that car became truly mine. Once and for all, she never got her hands on it. It was this never-ending cycle of her antics and my attempts to outmaneuver them. I could hear her nagging voice in my head every time she tried to take control. Conversations went from, "You owe me for everything," to, "I am the parent. I make the rules." It was like a broken record of entitlement, playing over and over. So that's how it started. Life was an entitled mother, me trying to keep my head above water in a car that was my lifeline. And yeah, I know this might sound familiar if you've ever seen those stories on a subreddit. Just wanted to set the stage, keep it real and keep it simple. Alright, time to dive back into this tale. A cold January morning and I'm in the kitchen packing my lunch for another day at work. And guess who makes a surprise entrance? Yep, my mom. A rare sight before noon, let me tell you. So there I am trying to act like her sudden appearance doesn't faze me, but mom's got other plans. "Where are you off to this early?" "Work." "And she ain't having it, no sir." "Don't you dare use that tone with me. Also, I want you to be a dear and fetch me a coffee before you wander off to work." I can feel the eye rolling coming, but I hold it in. Sorry, can't swing that, time's tight. And I ain't got the cash either. And now here comes a storm. "Excuse me? Did you just sass me?" "I'm swamped, gotta have the job." And then boom, the bomb drops. "Fine then, you just lost your car for a whole 3 weeks." She lunges for my keys, which I'm gripping like they are the last life preserver on a sinking ship. Hold up, not happening. Panic mode engaged. What the heck? I gotta go to work. Ha, no way. You don't show me attitude and then go wandering around like you're in charge. No way you're leaving. And just like that, I'm in a tug of war with mom for my keys. The house feels like a battlefield and I'm the soldier fighting for my right to get to work on time. Alright, brace yourself because things are about to go from bad to worse. So there I am, finally got my hands on those keys after the crazy coffee showdown. But mom's not backing down. She's clawing and thrashing like a wild animal desperate to snatch those keys. Kicks, punches, screams, it's pure chaos. Then she grabs me, her grip like a vice, and she sends me crashing into the kitchen table. Yeah, it hurts. But what happens next is beyond belief. All 300 plus pounds of her go flying too. She gets up bruised but not beaten and unleashes a scream that could wake the dead. "Look at what you did! How could you hurt your own mother like this? I have given you everything, but that means zilch to you, right?" Now here is where it gets crazier. Among the chaos, the keys fall to the ground. It's my chance, my golden ticket to escape. So I scramble, grab those keys, and think, get the hell out of here pronto. But mom's not done. Oh no, she's got one more trick up her sleeve. She reaches into the cutlery drawer and pulls out a freaking steak knife, I kid you not. And then, like a scene from a nightmare, she stabs me, right in my side. The pain is searing, but shock? That's an understatement. She's done though, just walks out like she didn't just turn my world upside down, brushes herself off and saunters to the living room like it's any old day. As for me, I'm sprawled on the floor, blood pooling around me, mind spinning. But something inside me snaps. I am not letting this slide. Adrenaline kicks in, and I drag myself to a phone, dialing the police faster than lightning. And just like that, the story goes from a crazy entitled mom to a full-on horror show. But hang tight, because this story gets more and more interesting. So the cops arrive and I'm rushed straight to the hospital. Surgery was the only option after that night jab. Meanwhile, mom's in hot water, like scalding hot. She's slapped with charges for attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon and a bunch of other stuff. It's like the world's turned upside down. Fast forward, and there's a courtroom drama. The judge lays down the law, and mom gets 19 years behind bars. Yeah, it's exactly as you heard it. She's locked away with no chance for parole. You know, we don't reckon she'll ever see the light of day again. At least, that's what we're hoping for. Man, if you had told me years ago that I would be in this situation, I would have laughed hard. So here is the deal. I'm a 26-year-old gal, let's call me Emily, and back in college I was dating this guy named James. We had big plans, you know, the whole shebang, graduation and engagement stuff. But life took a wild turn 2 months before graduation. Caught the guy red-handed planning to cheat. Yeah, he and some other girl were cooking up plans for a weekend getaway. The same weekend, he told me he was heading home for a quick family visit. Cheating's a big no-no for me, so I didn't waste time. Instead of blowing up, I bided my time, gathered the evidence, and when he left for his so-called home trip, I dropped the bomb. Sent him the proof and a snappy good thing, you're single now, have fun. And just like that, I blocked him everywhere. He lost his marbles and spent a whole month trying to reach out to me, using every trick in the book, even pulling in my friends to guilt-trip me. But those messages, straight up to the digital dumpster, unread. After a while, I thought he got the memo and moved on. A year rolled by, and then my younger sister, she's 24, announces she's bringing her new boyfriend to meet the fam. Surprise, surprise, the new boyfriend is none other than James himself. My parents were like, what? But tried to keep it cool. Me? Not so much. I just hightailed it out of there. My sis called later trying to explain how they met at some party and how it wasn't a big deal since I was the one who broke up with him. Yeah, well, I told her I thought she deserved better, but hey, it's her life, her choices. I just made it clear I wouldn't be hanging around them so much. Sis got all riled up, claiming that I had the parents on my side. Now, don't get me wrong, me and my sis, we've got a history of not exactly being BFFs, so dodging them wasn't much of a task, except when holidays rolled around. Eventually, my parents caved, and James started showing up for Thanksgiving and Christmas. They figured he was serious about my sis, but what got to me was how James acted like he was on a mission to win my approval all over again whenever he was around. And guess what? My sis got jealous of that. Her attitude hit a whole new level of pratty. Fast forward to this recent weekend, it was my mom's milestone birthday. I thought, why not introduce him to my current boyfriend, Todd. Dude's 29 and he's a keeper. Mom gave her nod of approval and Todd just clicked with the family. But James was there too, with my sis on his arm, like some kind of twisted couple. He looked like he'd swallowed a lemon or something, and he bailed early. My sis gave me a call later, fuming, accusing me of trying to make James jealous and stir up drama. I gave her a reality check. I told her that she knew what she was getting into when she decided to date my leftovers. Yeah, I called them sloppy seconds. And honestly, it felt like the right label. Next thing you know, sis is all over social media, airing her grievances and playing the victim card. She's even threatening not to show up for the family holidays if Todd and I are around. My parents, bless their hearts, think she's blowing things out of proportion, but she's got them wrapped around her finger. And now they want me to play peacekeeper, apologize for the sloppy seconds comment. But come on, it's like calling a spade a spade. So here I am, in the middle of this mess, feeling like I'm in some soap opera. Life sure is funny, and dealing with entitled people like James and my sis is a whole new level of crazy I never thought I'd face. But you know what? Todd got my back, and we're not giving in to this drama. As for my sis, well, maybe one day she'll see things straight, but until then, I'm standing my ground and letting the chips fall where they may. Family, huh? can't live with him, can't avoid their social media tantrums. And now some comments on the post. Someone saying, "You're definitely not the jerk. Your sister doesn't want to realize that she ended up with your ex, who isn't worth all this family chaos. If she's mad at you instead of him for his jealousy, it's pretty silly. Saying sorry won't likely make her understand the situation any better." Another commenter adds, "Yep, if I were OP, I'd probably ask her, so what's the deal? Should I never date again just because your boyfriend still has feelings for me? And now it's my job to make sure he doesn't get jealous and cheat on you?" Then I'd just leave it at that and see what she says. I mean, what else could your sister possibly expect in this situation? A third commenter goes with, "Not the jerk here. Your description of James as sloppy seconds was fitting. When a grown-up acts out because of their own choices, it's reasonable to let them know why they are acting foolish. You did what's right by holding your ground and not taking the blame for their bad decisions. If your sister feels insecure, she shouldn't have stirred up trouble that would clearly get her called out. As for your parents, yeah, they are stuck in an awkward spot. But that's not your issue. Them wanting to play peacekeeper is a bit messed up given the situation. Depending on your relationship, you could talk to them about genuinely worrying for your sister's well-being, but not being able to do much about it personally. You could let them know you care for her and don't want to exclude her from the family, but you won't take back the truth just because she's throwing a fit. Then ask him if they want to spend their lives with her, acting childish, and them trying to smooth things over when they know she's wrong. Or will they step up as parents to show her that she's causing her own problems and that her actions have consequences?" So I wasn't sure if this was malicious compliance and I posted it in Entitled People, but someone said this would be great here. Here is my story. When I was 15, I got my first paid job working for the fair. It was a pretty big fair that traveled across Canada and along the east coast of the US, ending in Florida for Christmas. If you've ever been to the PNE, Pacific National Exhibition, CNE, Canadian National Exhibition, Red River X, Calgary Stampede, and whatever they call it in Edmonton and Regina, that's the one. I love this summer job because it was short, only a week as I did not travel, and gave me enough cash to get through the summer. I worked for the privately owned donut vendor, which tasted better and paid better than the show donut vendors. Fast forward 4 years when I decided to travel with the show. I was 19 and it was easier to travel at this point because I could sign my own forms, and being 19 I needed more money for school and the like. We start in my home city and make our way across the country, visiting city after city. We were in Edmonton when our story really began. Now the travel crew is pretty small and we hire out bagging and cashier locally. I, along with the senior crew members, are in charge of training the baggers, re-oiling the machines, switching out the dough, canisters, and making sure they are running and putting out donuts in a constant manner. As I'm checking dough levels and teaching a bagger how to efficiently fill bags for the evening rush, I hear a commotion behind me. Cue the entitled woman.
"No, I want the fresh ones."
Bagger tells her, "Ma'am, these are fresh. I just made them."
"No, I want them to be fresh. Make me new ones. I didn't see you make those. They could be old."
It was 9 in the morning. At this point in the day, most donuts are made to order, so those donuts wouldn't have been older than 5 minutes. The bagger calls me to turn on his machine to start the donuts. These machines are so temperamental and really old because the owner built them himself many moons ago. But I love them because they make perfect donuts that travel in a circular conveyor belt at 400-degree oil. They are a lot of fun to watch. I start the machine and scoop out the first few rejects and make 15 donuts. The donuts fall off the belt into the glass case and the bagger slots them into the sugar and into a bag. He hands them to her and she dramatically sighs.
No! I want the fresh ones and those have touched the old ones. How do I know you didn't mix them up? I don't believe they are fresh. I want fresh donuts."
"Ma'am, those are fresh. I made sure to pick only the new ones out." Again she huffs and puffs, so I fire up the machine again, scoop out the rejects, and make 15 donuts. This time I grab the new bag and place the bag right under the chute, so the donuts have no choice but to fall into the bag. They do, and I hand it to the bagger and walk away, just to have to turn around again.
No, I want the ones directly out of the oil. That way I know they are fresh. Those ones have cooled down and are not fresh anymore.
I tell her, sorry man, but that is against the policy. The oil is 400 degrees and besides, they are not done cooking.
I want the fresh ones. Get me your supervisor.
My supervisor is off doing supervisor things. And I don't feel like calling her. She is also a lifer and doesn't take flack from anyone, and I know if I call her and she's busy, this Karen will leave crying. So to avoid this I say, I am the supervisor on duty right now, and the policy states we can give you donuts from the oil. There is no policy, but it's common freaking sense.
I have been a patron of this company for so many plus years. I have never been denied a fresh donut. This is so unprofessional. I want to talk to the owner right now.
At this point, I'm on day 5 of this show and we work an hour before opening to an hour after the close. Depending on the show and after some new laws, roughly 16 hours daily. Obviously, I am tired of her. And that's when I get a brilliant idea. I smile and tell her, there is no need for that, I will get you your fresh donuts. I start up the machine again and discard the rejects. I then grab a bag and let the donuts plop into the oil for half a second and scoop them out immediately. Not long enough to get hot, but also not long enough to hold a shape. I then take the bag of dough and sprinkle in some cinnamon sugar and say as sugary as I can muster, here you go. Sorry for the inconvenience. Enjoy the rest of your day. She smiles smugly, having thought she got her way, and about 10 paces later she stuck her hand into the bag and I hear a squeal, a snarl, and then swearing. That's when Greg, not his real name, one of the senior machine guys, returned from his break. Greg was a freaking legend when it comes to dealing with Karens. He makes it a hobby to seek them out for fun on his breaks so he can tear into them. He once told a heavy customer in a scooter he would not sell her 50 bags of donuts because he doesn't want to be responsible for her coronary and could not have that on his heart, and that she should take her business to the other donut stall. He can be quite savage. I do not condone his behavior and sometimes he scares me, but this is also why I like working under him, because it means Karens never get away with their crap. The woman came storming back and demanded a refund and demanded I be fired. He asked why and she screamed, "That witch sold me a bag of dough." Greg asked me if that was true. I smiled sheepishly and said yes, and explained she did not want the fresh donuts off the belt and she wanted the fresh donuts from the oil and would not leave till I gave them to her. Greg turned to her and said, "Sorry for that, but we don't issue refunds to dumbasses, so take your fresh donuts and leave before I start pelting you with these donuts. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3. She tried to huff and puff, at which point he took the bag of donuts she did not want and began pelting her with them. After she left, he told me he was proud of me and would let the boss know. I actually got an extra $100 in my per diem for that week. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.